this computer. We are recording. It says recording. I guess that's good. Is that where we had it?
Or whatever you want. Yeah, so.
Okay. Where are my notes? All right, so I am Angela, Coach Angie C with Full Potential Fit Club, and I have a special guest today. It's my sister. And we got that camera too. We got two. So anyway, my sister's visiting from North Carolina, and I don't get to see her all the time, so it's been awesome to be able to hang out with her. And how are you, by the way?
I'm doing well.
Yeah. What you been up to?
Working.
Yeah, we should have wine, but it's still early. So.
Yes, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, I have to wait till Braden sleep. I don't want to get him drunk or tipsy, or it's just unethical when you're breastfeeding.
I can see that.
Yeah. So life is good.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I can say that. Yeah. No reason to complain, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we were chit-chatting the other day. We went on a walk because we like to live a healthy lifestyle. So we've been working from home or working from wherever. And we needed to get out and just go for a walk, get some fresh air. And we were just kind of talking about our healthy lifestyle journeys. Both of ours have been different. But we're both living a healthy lifestyle. And that's what's great about it. It's to each its own. So, it's not about doing like this cookie cutter. It's good to sometimes follow a plan, but keep in mind it's a plan, it's a template, and it's up to you to be intuitive and tweak it so that it works for you. And the whole goal is so that it's sustainable over time. It's not about like doing something for like this short amount of time, but doing something that you can keep practicing long term. So I wanted to ask you just about your lifestyle journey. What motivated you to get started? What was kind of like that starting point that inspired you to do healthy things?
I would say the kickstart was when, you go through fertility treatments and there's always something that they're telling you. One day it's this, just do this and it'll work. That doesn't work. One day it's this, you go to a different doctor, they tell you something different. And in my case, the last thing they said is like, if you were to get in this BMI range, you would do better. So then I was like, okay. So I looked up the BMI, and I know there's lots of stigmas or things people think about it, but whatever. So I looked it up and to see how much weight I needed to lose. So that might have been in February or January. I really don't remember, but so I looked it up and it was about less than 20 pounds that I had to lose. So that's where it kind of started, and that's what got me motivated. And I actually feel a lot better ever since, like emotionally, physically, everything. But that's where it started. And I started just managing and paying attention to my eating styles and what motivates me to eat and what I'm eating and how much I'm eating. And now here I am, 20 pounds later.
Well, good for you. 20 pounds. That's good. So you said a couple of things. I mean, this is we can come back and talk about fertility or infertility.
Yeah. I like to say fertility.
Fertility, yeah. Okay. Be positive. Because even Mom and I were talking about that and how she noticed when they were starting to have wanting to start, working on having kids, and it wasn't happening. And at that time, I guess there really wasn't. I mean, there was fertility issues, but it just wasn't talked about as much as it is now. Yep. So we can come back and talk more about
that's a whole nother
that's a
situation.
So anyway, so back to the topic at hand. So you said you feel better. So I wanted to have you elaborate on what do you feel? Can you elaborate on what that means to you?
When I say feel, I mean physically, as in just like, I am one with my body, so I feel more close to myself. I know what I mean? Like all this extra stuff that I had going on, I don't
Mhm,
have it. So I feel like more in tune with my
mhm,
center almost, just
mhm,
because I don't have that extra cushion, I guess. But
mhm.
I think the hard part for me was like I thought I was cute before, you know what I mean? So it was like, why try to lose weight? Because I'm cute. And I did, I still think I'm cute, but it wasn't at that point, it wasn't about what I looked like to myself. It was like it to be more healthy, I needed to do that. So I feel better physically, yes. But I think I feel better that I did something that I sought out to do and I stuck with it.
Mhm.
And hopefully that will encourage, my body to
Yeah.
do the other things that it needs to do. So,
Yeah, that's awesome. I think a lot of times, and I think it's okay. Sometimes I would struggle with people's goals. Like I want to look better and I want to, whatever the superficial goal is. But sometimes once you get started, you start to see the deeper changes. Like I want to feel better. I want to be healthy. I want to, you develop this relationship with yourself, with your body.
right.
I think that's what I was hearing you say, and I think that feels empower. I always have a hard time with this word, empowering,
Mm-hmm.
and it builds your confidence. So I think that's really great, and just going deeper as far as like feeling good and feeling healthy. That's a feeling. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just. I think we equate healthy with like I eat salads and I eat, grilled chicken all day long. But healthy is a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to experience it by the choices that you're making. It could be salads if that's what you want to do.
Right.
But it's once you start doing that consistently, um, you experience what that feeling is like, and then accomplishing and being able to stick to something. Um, it makes you feel proud
Yep.
of yourself. Yeah. So tell me more about the changes. What do you think have been the most impactful changes that you've made so far?
Um, with my diet or in
Both.
life?
Both.
My diet, I would say, and I know one kind of encourages the other, but with my diet, I would say just being more mindful of what I'm eating, giving myself grace, like not feeling guilty when you eat something you didn't want to, that you feel like you shouldn't have,
Mhm.
and that there are no foods that you shouldn't eat.
Mhm.
But, because I'm paying attention, like sometimes like one of my favorite things to eat were like Cheez-Its or something. Like, but I still eat them, but sometimes it's like, I could either eat those Cheez-Its or I could eat a sandwich, like making better informed decisions. There's
Mhm.
nothing that says I can't eat those Cheez-Its, but sometimes I can make the decision to eat something that I really would rather
Mhm.
versus snacking on the Cheez-Its. Then I'm hungry again, and then I'm eating something else, and I'm eating something else. And so just making better choices. And
Yeah.
that really makes me feel better I feel more in control.
Mhm.
And I know what I'm eating all day. I think about it, I plan for it, and I like those things. So
Mhm.
um, I think once I got that under control to where I'm not like a slave to my food and what I'm eating all day, but now I feel like I'm more focused on my like mental and
Mhm.
emotional states and just making sure that I'm constantly in a positive state of mind, as hard as
Mhm.
that can be, but just trying to be there and
Mhm.
now being more mindful. I was doing a mindful eating and how I feel about my food and exercising. And now I'm like just really trying to stay in a positive
Mhm.
energy and space.
Yeah. Oh, there was something that you said, so I want to come back to it, but then I don't remember what it was. So, yeah, so part of the journey continues. And that's what I think is so great about. I have a hard time with healthy lifestyle, but with wellness.
Mhm.
Wellness can start very physical. It can start with, hey, I want to lose weight because blah, blah, blah. But once you keep going, it keeps going. It
Yeah.
gets deeper. So on our walk, we were talking about, and I forgot how we even got on this topic, but we ended up talking about, I think I said something like, um, What did I say? What did I say?
It was probably, so I'm trying to focus on like, I had just read in a book about the law of attraction.
Yeah.
And then you were saying, yeah, I've been trying to tell them, don't put that in the atmosphere or you're going to attract that. And I was like, oh my gosh,
Okay.
literally just read that. So that has been my new thing, is like just putting in the atmosphere what I want and
Yeah.
not focusing. And I had just told Mario that too. Like, I think that I always try to say what I want and focus on it, but then I realize sometimes I'm also spending too much time focusing on what I don't want, or
Yeah.
focusing on my fears, or focusing on just like what I'm afraid is going to happen, and just letting that go, and like not saying what I don't want constantly. Cause like you were saying, well, you just like you say what you do want in the atmosphere and the space around you is also hearing the things that
Mm-hmm.
you don't. And just trying to stop focusing on the things that I'm afraid of and just say the things
Mm-hmm.
that I'm wanting in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. So instead of saying, for example, I don't want to fail my test, whatever, you're basically saying, like, the world is hearing fail my test. So, and it's basically it's an affirmation that you're
Mhm.
saying, like, I am going to pass my test,
Mhm.
or whatever it is that you want to accomplish. And it's saying that it's already happened. And if you were on, I interviewed a young woman, or I don't know, we're at the same age, we're young. I interviewed a young woman named Aliyah Kamala, and I bought her book called Life is a Gift, and it's a book of affirmations.
Mhm.
And so basically, it's like affirming, like, in the present, this has already happened, even though it hasn't, but you're affirming it every single day. And the more you say it, the more you believe it, and you keep, pushing toward that. Um, so as far as like a routine, I think we were kind of talking about routines and what we do on a daily basis is, number one, you have your vision. Like, what is your vision? What is it that you want to happen? Um, when I really started doing this, it was last year about the same time. I wrote my vision of us being in Texas and what we were, aiming for. And at first, I was like, I don't know how this is gonna happen. And this is like, but I read it every single day. I read it out loud. And, before I knew it, we were back in Texas. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty powerful.
Mhm.
And, so I updated the vision because there were parts of it that weren't fleshed out yet. Um, and so I updated it, and I was just telling mom like a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, look at this. Like, these are things that are like happening. And
Right.
there was a point in time where it wasn't happening. I didn't know if it was happening. So number one, I know we're all into like vision boards. I know you're into journaling and stuff like that. So writing the vision down, but actually, and you talked about this earlier, visualizing it
Right.
and seeing it. And that's what vision boards are all about. It's about seeing it
Mhm.
um, on a daily basis
Right.
and slowly allowing that vision to kind of like dwell in you.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything to add to that?
Yeah. So I was hearing you say, because I recently went back and wrote another vision. And then when I went in my journal to write that vision, I had flipped through some pages and I was like, oh, well, this is the last time I wrote my same vision. And I haven't even turned back and read that. But then when I was hearing you say, every morning I visualize my vision. And I'm like, that is definitely a missing piece that, yeah, I wrote it down. That's my vision. Boom, got it. I have a vision board at my house. I always had a vision board. And I walk right past it every day and never really paid much attention to it. And so it was like, it's fun to do those things. It looks good to write the vision, write your vision, make it plain. It's plain, but then the part that I'm missing is the visualizing. And it's like, I don't take the time. And it makes sense because it's what a vision is. You have to see it. And I don't. And so then I took the time last night. I was laying in bed and I just started thinking back about the things I wrote in my vision board and on my paper about my vision.
Mm-hmm.
And then I noticed how difficult it was for me to see it. And why, so I'm trying to be mindful, and I'm paying attention to what's happening in my mind as I'm trying to visualize myself doing these things that I wrote down. And then I realize those fears start popping up. And then I start realizing that I'm having such a hard time because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of what happens when these things that I want don't happen. I'm afraid of what happens when I fail, or just those doubts start to seep in. And I think the more we work to visualize it, like your vision is like a muscle, and it's like you have to keep working at it. So I'm not going to stop with like laying in bed last night. I'll keep trying until I do, those things start to appear in my mind, and then I'm focusing on them, and then I can see them, and then I start making choices and decisions to help help me get closer to whatever I was visualizing.
Yeah, I just finished a book. I forgot his name. But anyway, the book is called Miracle Morning. And he has what's called the lifesavers. And it's really the savers part. So S stands for silence, the A stands for affirmations, the V stands for visualization, E is exercise, R is read, and then S is scribe or write in your journal. So he has, like, you spend so much time in each area. So you can meditate for the silence, you can pray, whatever. Then you affirm, you do your affirmations, and then you visualize the affirmations. And so that's a strategy that, it's kind of simple because you can remember it. It's an acronym. But it's a strategy to practice every single day. It's kind of like, you check the boxes. So I think that's, and for me, that's helpful because I need more lists in my life. And, but it's just easy to remember to do, as far as like, this is what I do in the morning. So I like that. Life savers. So if you like books, Miracle Morning is a good one. And then you've been reading a book.
Yeah, I just finished The Energy Bus, which I really like. I thought it's cute, it's an easy read. I have notes all over it, things that are super practical, and it just kind of helps you to kind of remember like the importance of just the energy around you, the space that you're creating around you, and then like the law of attraction and visions, and the people that you allow in your space and the people that you need to get out of your space because they are counterproductive to your vision and the positive space that you're trying to keep around you. So I thought those were.
That's super true. Because I try to be really intentional with Renee with that. Because if I come at her, like if she's having a tough time and I come at her with that same energy, it's just like, forget it. It's not going to work. So I really try to fix, I'm not always successful, but I really try to fix myself so that to help her kind of get to a level where we could like, okay, let's talk about how are you feeling, and how do we I guess I'm trying to think of the word, but how do we appropriately address what we're feeling in a way that is healthy, versus what she would normally do. So, which is cry. But you're right. The energy that you're bringing into a room or into a space can really change things. So awesome book. Anything else? I don't know how long have we been on here?
I don't know.
Almost 30 minutes. So my talks are usually about 30 minutes. I try to keep them short and sweet. So just to FYI, I will be bringing Aaliyah Kamala back. I know we did an awesome interview the other day, and it didn't record. I was so upset about it. So anyway, we'll be coming back because she talks a lot about affirmations and visualization, and she will be all over this right now. So I'll show you her book too.
Yeah, I also downloaded, since we're plugging books and everything, I also downloaded the I Am app, which I think is free for a certain period of time. But I was like, well, whatever, I'll take it for free for now. And it just sends, you can set it up for however long you want it to, or however often you want it to send you affirmations, but it just sends me affirmations throughout the day. And so I tell myself I'm going to make sure that when I hear it, that I'll stop and read it and, just take
Say
it
it out
in. Yep,
loud.
say it out loud. I also have affirmations that I say regularly to myself, and then I figured eventually I'll change it. But I do want to say just the power of our words. Like, life and death is in the power of your words, or in your mouth. So, we could either speak life or we could speak death. And and speaking, I realized one day I try to, my goal is to speak life over other people. And people come to me and we'll talk, and I try to, affirm them. And then one day I realized I'm not really doing that for myself. And I will never stop to like tell myself positive things or things about myself that I know are true. And so just it's crazy how hard that can be. You know what I mean? To stop and be positive towards yourself and be good to yourself. So that is a goal.
I think that's I think that's just human nature too. And as a coach, sometimes I use like, would you tell like your best friend what you're telling yourself right now? And a lot of times it's like, oh goodness, no.
Right.
And it's funny because I have a coach also, and my coach asked me a good question actually this time. He said, well, how do you acknowledge your hard work? I was like, what? Like, I don't understand your question. Like, am I not doing that? And so it made me really think about, like at the end of a day or the week or whatever, how am I recognizing the work that I do every day? And I had to really take like a day to think about that. And I said, well, I gave myself a facial. I told Brandon, I gave myself a facial. He said, is it because you needed a facial? Or I was like, well, it can't be like both. Like, so yeah, just affirming yourself and speaking positively of yourself. I absolutely agree. And knowing your worth. I think women, or not just women, but people just don't know or value themselves enough.
Right.
As the creatures that they are. So awesome. That's it. Bye. She'll be back. We have a whole nother conversation. So if you liked what we talked about, let us know. And I think we'll have another conversation about fertility.
That's stressful. I'm talking to my therapist about that lately. I'm open.
Yeah, no, it's a touchy subject, so we'll think about it. And
I'm good. Everybody, it's a conversation that should be had more often.
Yeah. I mean, I have my story. I've shared like thoughts of it. I haven't shared like the whole shebang of what it is and all of that. So we have different perspectives that we can share, which will be very interesting. So peace, God bless, and be positive. And oh, I guess. Oh wait. Stop recording.